India makes USB Type-C charging mandatory for device makers from March 2025.
Here's a summary of the article.
Device manufacturers have been given a deadline of March 2025 to ensure the products they sell in India have a USB Type-C port for charging. Called the Common Charger Directive, device manufacturers will have to ensure that they follow a common USB Type-C wired charging standard. The European Union has already given a deadline of December 28, 2024 to device manufacturers for compliance, and the mandate will be enforced a few months after that in India, starting March 2025. There is a global supply chain at play when it comes to chargers, therefore we have to align ourselves with the global timeline, said Rohit Kumar Singh, Secretary, Ministry of Consumer Affairs, speaking with The Economic Times. In India, the directive will kick in 3 months after the European Union, he added. The Indian government has also formed another subgroup to examine the feasibility of having a common charger standard for wearables sold in India. The March 2025 deadline is also set for smartphones, for now, and laptop manufacturers have until 2026 to make the changes required.
This post received a score of 3,400, with an upvote ratio of 96%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Fair enough. Most devices should be able to charge via USB-C by then anyway.
One of my coworkers asked to borrow a cord for his phone recently. Knew he had Android, so grabbed my extra USB-C. Dude, still on micro USB.
Haha, I have an S7 with micro RN.
India makes USB. Followed by a whole discussion about EU regulations. Praise the Brussels effect.
Indeed, praise the Brussels effect.
Fuck you, Apple.
I'm looking so forward to the next iPhones and how they fuck people over with a no-port phone. One thing is for certain. They will get your money.
The European Union has already given a deadline of December 28, 2024 to device manufacturers for compliance, and the mandate will be enforced a few months after that in India, starting March 2025. In India, the directive will kick in 3 months after the European Union. The Indian government has also formed another subgroup to examine the feasibility of having a common charger standard for wearables sold in India. The March 2025 deadline is also set for smartphones, for now, and laptop manufacturers have until 2026 to make the changes required.
The kind of misnamed Brussels effect in action. Lovely to see it.
Type-C is great. This is a great move that the USA should have too.
This proposal would get a U.S. representative impeached. Lol. So what happens if someone comes out with something better? In all of these rules countries in Europe have been making.
Make the better connector backwards compatible with USB-C?
People confuse the USB protocol and the USB port. A lot of benefits attributed to USB-C are actually protocol improvements that can work with other USB connectors.
They must all be USB-C by the end of 2024, so manufacturers are implementing this requirement globally. I suppose there are a lot of affordable Chinese phones in India. For major brands, however, this was going to happen regardless. Modi merely wants praise for the work the EU put in for years.
I think this was the USB consortium's plan all along. Bring out a few generations of a connector that is humanly impossible to plug in on the first attempt, but too useful to ignore. Then, once the world is addicted to it, bring out a connector that can be plugged in first time, and the world will lose its mind and there'll be a craze to adopt it everywhere, so the consortium can't chance their minds again. Genius.
Wish they'd do this faster. USB-C was already adopted as the standard by IEC in 2016. By 2025 it will be 9 years since standardization and likely 5 years away from being replaced by the next iteration.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.